What makes a short story effective in a business presentation? I was coaching a client this morning, and she was developing an internal talk for a meeting where her colleagues are going to share something about themselves and what they're passionate about, kind of like a TED talk. I'm helping her develop the content, and she told me a story about how she stood up to the status quo in front of a very large town hall meeting in her company and asked a tough question. And she never really got an answer to that question, and she's still waiting. I said, okay, so why are you sharing the story with me? And she explained that she's always been someone who stands up for herself, takes on tough challenges, and I don't let anybody tell me what to do. Great. Why are you that way? And then she explained how she admired and observed her grandmother, who did the same thing back in the 1920s and stood up to power in a way that I won't give you all the details, but it changed the way she was because of observing her grandmother. I said, so take me back to that time in the middle of the town hall meeting and tell me, what were you thinking? Give me a little bit more of the inner dialogue that led to you speaking up in that meeting. And that's where she started to find the truth of the story and the true message about standing up to the status quo. And if you don't, things will remain the same, which is not good for a company or the world, right? Great message, universally recognizable, valuable message. But the storytelling device that we worked on together was the inner dialogue in that moment. You've all heard of dialogue between two characters, right? That she said, and then he said this, that she said that. And that's a great way to transport your audience into the story and know what was going on, especially if you deliver it with the expressions and the emotion that the characters had in that moment. So when the story is just about a decision you made, there is probably an inner dialogue that goes along with that. And then I asked myself, why am I being so complacent? I'm not going to stand up for this anymore. And that's the moment when I took that fire that was burning inside of me and directed it toward the source instead of letting it consume me. And I stood up and I said, blank. So you see, that little moment of inner dialogue helps your audience feel the emotion you had in that moment, the struggle that we often go through in making decisions and tough choices. So it's a great storytelling device is to reveal that. Take us back there. What was I thinking? Share it, and your story will have more credibility, more emotion, and probably be more effective and sticky, which is what we're looking for. So that's the storytelling device to think about today. Use inner dialogue to reveal the motivation of the character in the story, and it will likely help your audience believe the takeaway message that you have for that story. So if you have any question about storytelling in business, post it in the comments below. If you have a trick or a technique that you use that you love when you're telling stories, drop it in the comments below. We're going to create a conversation about how to become a powerful storyteller in your next business presentation. Thanks for listening.